The J-35A is a land-based fifth-generation fighter aircraft developed by China's Shenyang Aircraft Corporation, a subsidiary of AVIC, Aviation Industry Corporation of China. It has been promoted as a major milestone in China's aerospace development, intended to complement and possibly even match the capabilities of other advanced fighters around the world. While the aircraft has now been publicly included in China's military parades and demonstrations, its deeper significance lies less in its technical performance, about which little is independently confirmed, and more in what it represents in terms of domestic political messaging, international signaling, and broader strategic narratives crafted by the Chinese state. Official statements from Chinese authorities describe the J-35A as a highly advanced, stealth-capable, multi-role platform designed for air superiority and precision strike missions. Like other fifth-generation fighters, it is said to feature radar-evading shaping, internal weapons bays, fly-by-wire controls, modern avionics, and data link systems. However, such descriptions are presented without technical transparency or public test data. The Chinese military-industrial system operates under strict state control, which means there are no open forums for external defense experts, pilots, or technicians to assess or critique the aircraft's true performance in operational settings. This creates a fundamental gap between the claims made about the J-35A and what can be independently verified. Historically, Chinese military equipment, especially aircraft, has often been subject to overstatement during its development phase. Prototypes or limited production units are frequently labeled as operational long before they are deployed in meaningful numbers or tested under live combat conditions. The J-35A appears to follow this same trajectory. Its inclusion in official ceremonies does not necessarily confirm full combat readiness or integration into Air Force squadrons at scale. There is no public information on pilot training hours, sortie rates, maintenance reliability, or tactical deployment doctrines associated with the aircraft. These are all critical factors in determining the real-world impact of a fighter jet, and their absence contributes to skepticism among independent observers. China has long used large-scale military showcases to present an image of technological parity with global powers, particularly the United States. The J-35A is a key element in this narrative, positioned as a symbol of progress and a counterpoint to American and Allied platforms. However, many of these displays serve a political purpose rather than a military one. They are carefully choreographed events aimed at reinforcing the domestic population's confidence in the state's strength and the leadership's ability to deliver strategic advancements. The Chinese Communist Party (CCP) often ties military technology directly to national pride, framing it as part of the country's rise from a century of humiliation to global prominence. In this environment, the J-35A is as much a propaganda tool as it is a weapon system. One of the clearest signs of the aircraft's limitations is its complete absence from the international arms market. Despite repeated attempts by China to position itself as a global supplier of advanced fighter jets, the J-35A has failed to attract foreign buyers. Unlike other Chinese platforms that have found limited success in lower-income markets, the J-35A has received no confirmed orders. This lack of interest reflects broader concerns about quality control, after-sales service, political risk, and the reliability of Chinese military hardware in general. In contrast to more established suppliers, China lacks the long-term maintenance and training ecosystems that potential buyers require for high-performance aircraft. In addition, countries wary of political dependence on Beijing are reluctant to commit to such complex and sensitive acquisitions. China's tightly controlled media environment also plays a central role in shaping perceptions of the J-35A. The domestic population receives information through state channels that avoid any form of critical scrutiny. Failures, accidents, delays, or engineering problems are either ignored or reframed as temporary setbacks on the path to inevitable success. Social media platforms, though vast and active, are subject to automated censorship and manual moderation, especially regarding military topics. Discussions that diverge from the official line are often suppressed. This creates a heavily filtered information space where it is virtually impossible to evaluate the true status of a project like the J-35A. Abroad, Chinese authorities and affiliated influencers often engage in coordinated efforts to shape the international narrative as well. State-backed English-language media present favorable comparisons to Western aircraft, focusing on theoretical capabilities and selective data while avoiding details that would allow meaningful scrutiny. In some cases, third-party commentators are co-opted into promoting flattering analyses, which are then amplified through official channels. These efforts are not necessarily focused on the technical community but are intended to generate geopolitical noise and erode confidence in Western military superiority by creating an illusion of parity. The strategy behind the J-35A's promotion is not unique to this aircraft. It fits a broader pattern in which the Chinese state uses technological projects, civilian and military, as instruments of national messaging. Whether it is fighter jets, aircraft carriers, satellites, or AI systems, announcements are often made at key political moments or anniversaries, aligned with internal propaganda cycles rather than operational milestones. The aim is not just to impress foreign audiences but also to consolidate internal support and present the party as the driving force of China's great rejuvenation. However, this approach also has inherent weaknesses. When military platforms are overhyped before they are fully functional, it creates long-term risks. If the J-35A cannot meet the performance expectations set by its promotion, it could undermine the credibility of China's broader defense posture. It also limits the ability of internal stakeholders, engineers, officers, strategists, to have honest discussions about what needs to improve. Over time, such an environment can slow down genuine innovation and lead to systemic inefficiencies. In the case of the J-35A, the aircraft may eventually reach a functional level that meets China's operational needs. But without open testing, independent evaluation, or export validation, its real value remains uncertain. It exists in a space between ambition and reality, heavily shaped by political needs rather than battlefield experience. As such, it is better understood as a projection of intent than a confirmed capability, a reflection of how China wants to be seen, rather than a clear measure of what it can actually do in high-intensity modern combat.